Obviously, as an artist, you try to grow each album and each piece that you do. So, in that sense, you've been playing together since 2000. Do you still surprise each other in what you come up with?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She does totally.
Okay.
I can't, you know.
I
I look over when we're playing shows and there's things that I just get goosebumps that she does, and I'm just like, holy shit! I don't see her as, I don't know. People often ask us about our relationship and how we stay friends, and
Right.
I'm just impressed by her. You know, it's like when we're on stage, I don't think like, what's Alison doing? It's like,
Where did Alison go?
it's like, whoa! It's like a hurricane. It's like I see the icon when we're on stage. I don't see like my
Right.
idiot friend.
Well, I see the same thing. I see my idiot friend doing incredible things.
But Alison, for you then on stage, is it? How do you experience those live shows? Is it very conscious what you're doing on stage?
If it's a great, I love the shows where it's not conscious, where, conscious enough that I'll get off stage and I'll know that I did like 10 things I've never done before. There'll be something about the energy. I mean, it's always, to me, the greatest shows are when the audience are giving back and and it's just this like huge circle. That's where really great, exciting things can happen. I love it because I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how I'm going to feel. I don't know how I'm going to dance. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what my voice is going to do. I never warm up or do anything. I just walk on stage, and it's just like, and it's really exciting to me that way,
So no nerves and anything?
Oh no, I'm super nervous.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm super, super nervous.
Okay.
Yes, it is. You are so funny. That would be. I think that's why it's so exciting, and I think that energy. I hope that energy comes across. I hope people can feel that, because I think if it really exists, people will be able to feel it. I know I can feel that when I watch other performers. That kind of like you're walking a high wire,
Who's one performer who does that for you?
Watching Jack.
Okay.
Well, I don't know if I don't know what he's gonna do. He doesn't know what he's gonna do. There's people that still sort of maintain that. There's no plan, and I like that. And there's lots of people. Iggy Pop is another one. Watching Queens of the Stone Age, that's another one where I'm just like, what?
Right. And well, in that sense, because you talked about going in a different direction musically, part was out of necessity, obviously, but are then nerves also about how people will react? Is that anywhere in your mind while you're making the music?
No.
No.
While we're writing music, nah. I mean, I think.
For some reason, you feel really far away from that.
Okay.
It's like you kind of go into another.
I guess, I wonder if there's people when they write songs that they imagine themselves playing in front of a huge crowd and they imagine the reaction. But I've got something similar, but it's not as kind of overblown as that. I just have a little TV studio in my head.
Okay.
And I'm just kind of playing on a TV show. when I audition my new songs in my imaginary TV studio. It's true. It's kind of like Jules Holland or something like that. It's not quite. There's an audience there, and it's like, but also the angles keep changing. It's not like playing in front of a festival crowd.
Well, so when in this imagination do you think, okay, this is a good song? What happens in the imagination when it's a good song?
I don't think the things connect in a way that they don't all connect and you think this is a good song.
Okay.
It's just kind of, as it's happening, you start feeling it and I get really sort of excited. And
Right.
a song that's only a third finished, I kind of know that it's going to be a giant, to me, I know this is going to, and it doesn't, for me, I don't have to finish something and be like, yes, it's great. I sort of feel like that sometimes with just the first little tick or the first little lyric I read of Alison's, or the first, a little idea.
Mm-hmm. And well, you mentioned the lyrics. Alison, do you write all of the lyrics?
No, we 50-50 write lyrics.
Because, that's what I was wondering. How do you, because obviously when you write it yourself, you can portray that emotion, but do you talk about what you write about amongst each other and kind of...
A little bit. You know, if he's written lyrics that I'm singing, we'll definitely have a conversation about that, about what kind of sort of style he wants it sung in, how he imagines it, especially like rhythmically, things like that. With my songs, obviously, that's the way that's how they go,
Right.
you know. So yeah, there has to be some conversation, especially if he has a really strong vision about what he wants for it, how he's heard it in his head. It'll take me a little while to sort of completely latch onto that, and I'll try a few things. And then in the end, it's a real combination of what we both feel about it. You know, it's getting to that place where it's like, then suddenly I make it my own. And it's a little bit of a process.
Yeah, do you have to kind of interpret it and apply it on your own life, what he writes? Or is it
I have a good imagination. Okay. I mean, I can see it any way I need to see it.
Is there one song that was tough to write for you on the record? That took a while to kind of find the right way to do it?
I mean, yeah. Like musically, yeah.
Okay.
Days of Wine How, we did quite a lot of versions of that, didn't we?
Yeah.
And that's probably the one. Everything else kind of took its own direction a little bit, or was quick to do. But that, for some reason, I was never quite happy with the way it was coming out.
Let It Drop too is another one that we kind
Let
of.
It Drop happened really quick though, didn't it? That happened from start to finish in a week. It was mixing that was difficult.
How does it then come together? How do you get over that hump, or do you?
It's a combination of.
It's persistence.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm never happy, and I take too much time, and I will constantly want to change things. I keep thinking we can be better, and it's a combination of me going too far and thinking too much about it, and Alison saying stop. She would have a song done in 5 minutes. So it's somewhere we find this in the gap between me taking too long and her not taking long enough. We find some electricity.
So Alison, you're the one who kind of says, okay, now it's time to finish the song. And
Yeah, with tears.
Stop!
But well, you do have different projects aside from The Kills. So in what span does a record come together like this? In what time span?
Well, they're all different. You know, it depends on the record, and it depends where we're recording. I mean, this one took a little while. It didn't take. I don't think it took as long as the one before it, though. Okay. It was just kind of spaced out, you know.
Spaced out, man.
It was spaced out, man. Well, because of the injury, so you know,
Yeah.
there was writing periods,
yeah.
and then we had so many songs for this record
But
that we
also,
didn't do. And then we started recording in LA, and then we ended up recording in New York, and so there's lots of stopping and starting. So.
And I think when you're a band that's kind of looking for a sound all the time, you know, we're not sort of like the Cramps or Nick Cave where we have the sound
Right.
and we explore songs within that sound. You know, we're trying to change the sound and trying to see. It's about us two idiots, you know, trying to find different music that we can do. You know, I like pushing it, and I think it takes a little while to be confident about the sound when you're sort of trying to find a new one. This time round, it seemed that added to the time. I think trying to feel.
Sure.
There was a long time I didn't feel confident about it. And
Yeah, well,
when
it's
I
kind
did,
of
Do you remember when the turning point was then? Was there a moment where you kind of thought, well, now we have what we were looking for?
With Doing It to Death, that was when I thought, yes, this is the thing. Like I knew that was something to latch onto. And then Alison had written Hum for Your Buzz and Days of Wine How, and I knew that these were things that were going to be like, these were the things that we were going to play around with to find a sound, you know. But it happens in little bursts over various songs, and then at the end, suddenly it's like, oh, it's happened 12 times. That's enough to make a record.
Okay. Yeah, Alison, because you say you had a lot of songs, how do you whittle it down then to what ends up on the album?
It's pretty simple. I mean, we both write a bunch of songs and we bring them to each other and we start working on them all, and gradually the ones that just aren't working drop like flies. I mean, you're like, this just isn't harmoniously working well enough. You know, there's certain things that should just be easier. You should hear something and be inspired and know what to do next. And if it wasn't kind of coming naturally, it was an easy way to sort of edit. Because that's not to say we won't go back and finish some of those songs, but there were just other ones that were like, yeah, this is great. Let's go with this. We kind of both understand it. And plus, who can afford to record 60 songs? It's just not.
Fair enough.
It's not economical, guys.
The title Ash and Ice, when in the process does the title pop up?
Yet again, that's always different. Usually at the very, very end when you're like, shit, we don't have a title. What are we going to use? But we had that title for the whole time, but not knowing we were going to use it that way.
How come?
It was a song.
Yeah, it was a song that never really got finished. Well, it's like it became Let It Drop, the song, and because I was having a lot of difficulty finishing it, so I decided the only way to do it was to just abandon all the lyrics that I'd written, and that's that. The lyrics were kind of was a song called Ash and Ice. So then we were left with this something that was a big, important part of the process that we were ending up not using. So it's just kind of suddenly found its way into the title.
And Ash and Ice, kind of opposites. Do you remember where this song came from?
But it came
Those
from,
words?
I just bought a mixing desk, and it was, as is normally the case, when I buy something new, I write a song immediately. And so I bought this mixing desk and I wrote Ash and Ice, and I had to save it in a file and call it something, so I was just trying to think of a working title, and I put my cigarette out in my drink and it went tss, and I was like, Ash and Ice. I wrote that down, and then the more I saw it, the more I kind of liked it, and then as is the case, other people come in and go like, oh, that's a great title or whatever, and you start, you start sort of thinking, yeah, I knew that, but I didn't.
Okay. Final question, because my time is up. Alison, you mentioned Jack. Is there going to be another? Are there plans to make another Dead Women's
Didn't we
album?
just do one?
It was only last year, yes.
Yeah.
So-
I think we're good for a minute.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. All right, thank you very much for your time.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Cheers.